As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
There's no crying in baseball!
I ate his liver with some fava beans. Nice cliente.
That was totally wicked!
If I can change, and you can change, everybody can change!
And welcome to another episode of Your Next Favorite Movie. I'm your host, Josh G. And today, I am joined by the host of Talkin Shiz. Please welcome CJ to the show.
Thank you, Josh. It's a pleasure to be on your show. I enjoy your podcast. I enjoy your perspectives on movies because I am a movie buff myself.
Hey, I appreciate that. Why don't you go ahead and take a minute and tell everybody what they can expect when they tune into your show?
That's a good question. I don't even know what to expect when I'm even recording my show. So, well, my show, my podcast, I don't like to stick to one genre, because I just want to be one of those podcasts where you could turn it on and it's not talking about just one certain thing, because, I'm a nerd too. I'm a movie buff. I'm a Funko Pop lover. So I like video games. So I'm just this broad. I'm a jack of all trades almost in a sense, but I just want to just stick to, whatever I feel like talking about. And then that way it can relate to everybody instead of just, a certain group of people. I just want everybody to sit down and enjoy. It's somewhat comedy. My wife tells me I'm not funny, so I'll go with her. So if I make somebody laugh, I'll make them laugh. So, I'll find like obscure stories that, to find on the web and talk about little personal experiences, and so that's what you get out of my show. It may put you to sleep, it may make you laugh, cringe, cry. It's all about taking that journey. That's what it's about.
Hey, there you go. People are looking for all kinds of different things when turning on a podcast. That's all right. So we're going to get into it. We're going back not that long ago, 2019. We're going to talk about Brightburn.
Whatever you've done, I know there is good in you.
Brightburn.
I want to do good, Mom. I do.
So when did you
first? Awesome movie.
Movie. So did you see this in theaters?
I did. I did. I have seen this movie, I would say about 4 or 5 times now. That's how I'm a fan. To me, it was very well written. Even the cinematography was great. In a sense, it kind of gave you the vibe of like Red Sun from DC. Okay. If that's how, because I know DC has, Red Sun, where Superman was founded by the Russians and he ended up, being evil. So that's it's kind of got that vibe from it, but it was different.
Okay. Well, that kind of gives a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and tell anybody that hadn't seen this what it's about?
Well, Brightburn, it's about a couple and that can't have a baby, and then all of a sudden a spaceship lands on their farm, found a baby inside. So it definitely had the whole Superman type vibe to it. And so when he got older, puberty hits, and that's when his powers started to come about, and then he started hearing, strange whispers and stuff through in the barn, and come to find out that was a spaceship that was talking to him. And then he gets power hungry. It's kind of like, you're 12, you're 13, and you have all these powers. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want to do. So that's basically what he did. And like the scene that got me, where he was popping the chickens with his laser vision. That's the scene that got me. And you hear that, like, it's like he's over popping chickens. So, and basically he just goes on a murderous rampage. Like in a sense, it kind of gives you that whole, if I had powers and somebody pissed me off, you know what? I can't, nobody can hurt me. Nobody can touch me. So I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And he gets revenges. I can't even talk. He gets revenge on people, and that's basically what it comes down to, is just him greedy with power.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So what is it that keeps you coming back to this? 'Cause like you said, it's only a couple years old and you've already watched it about 5 times. So what keeps you coming back to this one?
It's the story. My opinion, I think is well written. And one of the scenes that really, and it's definitely has the gore to it. Like the scene that also gets me is where his uncle is driving and then you see his jaw just drops down. You know,
it's graphic.
So there, yeah, and it's rare that, well, I wouldn't say it's rare, but there's some directors and there's some, you know, writers when they make a movie and there's scenes and it's always stuck with you. Like The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, when he yells at the mummy. I'll never forget that scene because it was so funny when the mummy was yelling and he just yells back at him. Or in the scene of Ghostbusters with Peter Bateman's, you know, they're on top. He said, "Nobody steps on a church in my town." You know, there's just certain scenes in a movie that you can't forget. And this, I think that's why it's such a memorable movie for me, is because there are certain scenes in that movie where I can't forget. Like and if you haven't seen it, spoilers, at the end of it, he takes a whole airplane down. You know, I won't forget that because it's like he's covering it up because he don't want nobody to per se know he has power. So he takes a whole jetliner down just to cover his tracks, you know. Okay.
Well, you kind of talked about it anyway, so let's get into it. Where do you hope? I know you hope for a sequel. So what do you hope to get out of a sequel? Put it that way.
I would actually like to see maybe some, because at the end of and I'm everywhere with this movie. Because I and just thinking about it, I'm just trying to now put it all together. To be quite honest, trying to put everything in line. And a sequel, I would like to see where he goes from there. Like, how is he going to still cover him up? And like, they had a post-credit scene, and he was talking about these other beings, and I'm like, so this is like the evil Justice League, basically.
Right? Yep.
And I would like to see maybe he's trying to find these folks, these other beings that has these powers, to see if they could take over the world. Like, how far would he go? You know, because I know in the post-credit scenes it was scattered, but I like to see exact how is he still trying to keep that under wraps, and you know, expand his story. Like, how dark is this universe going?
Okay. So since we're talking about it, have you seen Super?
I have not. I have heard a lot about it. I have not seen that movie yet.
Oh, okay. So you should definitely check it out. So in the post-credit scene, you see what looks like could be Aquaman, but there's one that he's a red guy, and I can't remember. I think they call him by name of the Crimson Bolt, but he's from the movie Super, and James Gunn directed Super, and he helped produce this movie. So I think that was like trying to connect those universes. So I highly suggest you check out Super.
I'm gonna have to find it on a streaming service. And this is the guy who thinks he's a superhero, right?
Yes.
If I can remember correctly.
Yeah. And it's if you watch The Office, it's
Rainn Wilson?
Yeah, Rainn Wilson. Yep. And
you know, I can't remember my wife's phone number, but I can remember stuff like this.
Well, I mean, it's hard to remember numbers these days. That's why we all have phones. Nobody remembers numbers anymore.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this. If you could, were there any casting choices you didn't like? Because it's hard to say, let's do a remake 2 years later, but let's say you got to recast any of these roles, whether it be the parents, the aunt and uncle. I don't know about recasting the kid, but if you had a choice, maybe. Would you like to have seen anybody else in this movie?
You know, honestly, I think they all had that chemistry. Like, thinking about it, they all played well with each other. And I don't know who would be even a good replacement. I mean, the kid, you can't replace him. I mean, he did I don't know, maybe one of the kids from like Stranger Things, you know?
Yeah.
You know, honestly, maybe Millie Brown just flip the script a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And just have it as like, you know, a Supergirl type ordeal. Because I think she would do really well.
Yeah, she probably would. Did you see Power Rangers from a few years ago?
Yes, and I know that the Red Rangers, he was actually in Stranger Things.
Oh yes,
Billy,
not
Billy, whatever his name was.
No, not Billy. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Rex, I can't remember his name. John, George.
Like, I feel like it should be Jason, but I don't remember if they went with Jason or not. Like, that's who should be the Red Ranger, but I can't remember.
But yeah, I remember that because it shocked me because I was watching Stranger Things season 3, and I was like, where have I seen that guy before?
Yeah.
And then, he was in the Power Ranger movie, which was not a bad movie. And I know we're off subject, but Godar, what got me, that's what kind of tipped me over. It's like, it always takes that one thing to ruin a movie. And that was like, really? That's what we went with? Did we lose a bet? I mean, were you high? I mean, did you eat too much shrooms? Like, let's make a giant gold nugget. That's with wings.
But what I was actually going to say is, you were talking about the Red Ranger. His dad plays Brightburn's dad, and the mom is Rita.
I didn't know that, but I remember she was in the Power Rangers.
Yeah, she was Rita. She was the evil. The way they played it in the new Power Rangers, she was like an evil ranger, which is why she was green, kind of playing ode to the old series. But yeah, so they were both in Power Rangers, and then we're the couple in this one. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. All right. This is what I want you to do. I want you to make that final pitch to someone who hasn't seen this, why they should take a chance and watch Brightburn.
Well, if you're looking for a non-superhero movie, but it has powers, like hero powers per se, and I would say that if you had all those powers, watch this movie and see which side of the fence would you go with more power that nobody can hurt me, or would you want to stay safe and be a hero? Would it be too much responsibility to be a hero? Which side of the fence would you be on? Watch the film and see if you agree with his actions or not agree with his actions. That would be my pitch. I'm probably going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, if you like superhero movies and haven't watched this one, just because it's not like a name brand, quote unquote, superhero movie, I guess, I definitely say it's worth a shot. 100%.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like as soon as I saw the commercial, I've got the Funko Pop coming this month. I think next week it's supposed to be here because I enjoy that movie so much. And I'm like, I wish they would make a sequel. I really do wish they would make a sequel to it because I want to see where he goes. Like, how far would he go? Like, he's already at the edge. Will he tip over to the point where he wants to be like the ruler, of the earth or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
Kind of like Injustice. If you think about it, it's almost like Injustice, the video game.
Okay. I remember I've seen it, but I haven't actually played it, so I can't comment.
Oh, well, they made a movie. DC actually made an animated movie, Injustice. It's coming out this year, I think. And it's taken part of the video game. It's kind of like it's like the video game, but it's the movie version of the video game. I just found that out today.
Okay, yeah, that is something I did not know. So yeah, I always knew it as the video game, but all right, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, and if you want an R-rated superhero movie that brings the violence and gore, this does it. Like, he talked about the scene in the car, but there's other stuff too. So if that's what you're looking for, check this out.
I mean, it's James Gunn, so it's almost, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like the Suicide Squad before the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, there's a way to sell it. The Suicide Squad before the Suicide Squad. That might be your selling pitch right there.
The James Gunn version.
Yeah. Full stop. Full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, CJ, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you in the podcast?
Well, I do have a one-stop shop per se where you can come and follow. It's the pod page, and it's podpage.com/Talkin Shiz. Just go subscribe there, and it has all my platforms where you can find the podcast, such as Apple, Spotify, and all that fun stuff. Also, all my social media platforms as well, such as Twitter, and that's at Talkin_Shiz. And same for Instagram. I do have Facebook, but it's kind of like MySpace, so I'm hardly ever on Facebook. But I try to update it. But the only thing about Facebook is you don't have Tom, and I miss Tom. Tom was He was your dirty college student on MySpace.
Yeah, I think the thing I miss most about MySpace while we're talking about it is the fact that you could have music playing on your page. That part I liked, but yeah,
This is what gets me. This is what gets me about Facebook. They won't play anybody else's music, but they sure enough sell your information.
very true. Very true. All right. And as usual, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ynfmoviepod. I did not create a Facebook for this because I don't use it enough. Available wherever you get your podcasts, of course. And be sure to come back next week as I'll have a new guest and a new movie. And who knows, that may become your next favorite movie. You guys take care. I'll talk to you next time.